Today is the 31st day of Lent. Now, if you start counting from Ash Wednesday to today, it's not going to work out. But that's because Sundays don't count. Sundays are always celebrations of the resurrection, even during Lent. So they're Sundays during Lent, they're not Sundays of Lent. Now, the 40 days comes from the experience that Jesus had in the wilderness, which in a way was based on the 40 years that the Israelites spent in the wilderness. It tells us in the scriptures, the 4th chapter of Luke, Jesus, full of the Holy Spirit, left the Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, where for 40 days he was tempted by the devil. He ate nothing during those days, and at the end of them he was hungry. And so we know that Jesus was out there for 40 days, and at the end of them, that's when this great temptation came. That's when the devil actually gives him 3 particular temptations, and then Jesus responds scripturally, refusing to do what the devil had asked of him, and so on. But I wonder how Jesus was doing on day 31. On day 31, very much of nothing was happening. Yes, the devil was out there trying to tempt him and oppress him. He was very hungry, very thirsty on day 31, I'm quite sure of it. Probably had a terrible headache, as I get if I, even miss one meal or, let myself become too dehydrated. All kinds of rotten things were probably happening to him on day 31, and yet nothing was really pivotal. Nothing that was a gripping combat with evil. See, I think most of us would do all right if we knew that we were being tested in this moment, and someone put to us a test where we could choose for God or choose against God, I think almost all of us would choose for God. But you see, that's not usually how it works. Yes, at the end of the 40 days, Jesus gets these particular temptations that we get to hear about and get to hear his answers, and he's triumphant. But it's in the little things. It's in those little temptations that happen day by day. Those are the times it's easy to forget, easy to get discouraged, easy to just wonder, why do I have to keep going through all these things? But of course there is a goal. Of course there is an end game. There is a way in which Christ is forming in us, even in the boring days when just things around us seem to be stupid and don't make any sense, and it just seems to be harmful for no particular reason. But we can't give up. We've got to keep going. Just as Jesus, on day 31 of his trial, had he given up, well, then there is no day 40 of the trial. There is no overcoming the devil. There is no life in ministry. There is no crucifixion. There is no resurrection. There is no hope for us. And so we have this opportunity to continue to live out faithfully, even in the doldrums, those times when not that much is really happening. And that is what prepares us for day 40, the day on which the crisis comes to a head, the day in which we must stand up and maybe be heroic. What really makes that possible is the fact that we were steadfast and ready when not much else seemed to be happening.